Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. While we're waiting for our EOC department to arrive, I'm going to ask Pastor Shannon to come up and give us a little prayer, and then I'm going to give you some updates while we're waiting of our emergency severe weather information packet.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you so much for this opportunity that we have to gather together to talk about some things, to maybe help prepare us for possibilities of things that may happen in the future, Father. Lord, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity that we have just to be here, Father, and to gather in your name. Lord, we pray that you would bless this time. Bless these donuts and coffee to our bodies. And Jesus, we love you today, and we thank you so much for your love that you show us in our lives each and every day. Jesus, we pray all this in your name. Amen.
Thank you so much. It's always so wonderful when we can have a church representative come over and be with us. So thank you so much for being here. You're welcome anytime and every time. So everybody should have a Wesleyan Village severe weather information packet in front of them. Not much has changed in this. We will have this electronically, I think. Where did Deb go? She stepped out. But we will make sure that this is electronically for some people. I just wanted to go over some really important things. The Nicholson Center, Elliott Center, Philippi Center are not shelters. They will be locked. They will be closed. The reason why is we won't have the availability for snacks or food or water, possibly potentially running water or sewer here. So we will make everybody go to one of the shelters, and the shelters are on page 3. There's approved emergency shelters. Now I want you to take a good look at this list and please prepare in advance. Certain shelters allow pets, so you want to make sure you're taking care of your pets. Certain shelters will have medical teams there that can help you with your medications. So make sure you're picking wisely, and I would have your plan in place starting now. We never know when a disaster can hit our area. Storms pop up all the time, whether it be a hurricane, a windstorm, a severe rain event. We want to make sure that you have everything in place that you need. Start it now. Get your emergency kits ready. Check your flashlights right now. Make sure that they are all working. If you are in a lower lying area and if you're not sure, come and talk to the team and we will help you with that. If you are in an RV, if you're in a mobile home, if you are living alone and are afraid to shelter, please make sure you reach out to our team. We will move you to the best of our ability to do that. But you really need to have your plan B in place with your shelter. So I can't stress that enough. Again, we will not be opening up. The Brooksville Wesleyan Church, our friends and neighbors, will not be available as a shelter. I know that they were a shelter in the past. That has changed. They are now the command center for the storm team. So what that means is emergency vehicles and emergency management will stage at the church. So they can't have other people there to take care of, such as people, as yourself, they're huddling or trying to shelter in place. We need to have that available for our emergency team. Before leaving your home, you want to make sure that you check with your neighbors nearby and see if they have received warning. We will do our very, very best to get the information out to you. But you live next door to your neighbors, and there's a lot of you. There's about 313 of you that stay over the summer. That's quite a bit of people for a staff of, 7, 8, or even 13 of us to come and check on everybody. We did that last year with Hurricane Ian. We went around, including myself, and shut shutters down and took flying objects and secured them. We are not going to be able to do that this year. So please make sure if you are leaving to secure everything that you have. even your garbage cans. Put it in a secure place. If you can bungee it to your structure of your house or put it inside your garage, please do that. Make sure that you take this paper with you, because all the emergency numbers that you need are on page 2. Most of the time, majority of the time, you might not lose cell service, but if you have to get a hold of anybody, all the numbers are here on page 2. So keep this with you in your emergency kit, okay? Make sure you take all medications with you. Make sure you take your dog food, your cat food with you. Put your animals in the proper secured situations, whether they're little cages or kennels that you have for them, or little carriers. We love our pets and we want to make sure that we keep our animals safe. Don't leave them behind, please. Okay?
Is there a shelter that more of the villagers go to than others? Is it the Emerson Elementary or something?
I don't believe that there is one. In talking with my husband in past events, they get spread out because it's not just the village that they're sheltering in these places, it's the whole community sheltering. So, you know, if several of you want to make that plan and go together, I would do that. But I can't answer that question because some people have different needs than other people, you know, and you'll see certain shelters have different needs. And I can't stress that enough. If you have a medical condition that you're requiring oxygen or you're requiring some kind of very highly detailed special medication or machine, go to a shelter that can handle that, please, okay?
But you need to register in advance.
You need to register in advance for that. That's why we're trying to have these meetings now, have your plan in place now. Let me think, I wanted to tell you something else. Very important, a lot of people get frustrated and I get a lot of phone calls about why the generators aren't put out on the our sewer plant. We are told not to put the generators out until the storm event is over. I know in times past, people have gone out in the middle of the storm to put the generators on. That's very dangerous. First and foremost, that could kill them. It could fall over on them, it could cause an electrical circuit, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep them safe. Second of all, if we did that, we still could lose power anyway. So it's much better for us to wait for the event to be over to then move the generators to where they need to be. So that's another reason, a very important reason, why you should go to a shelter. Now, chances are you're probably going to go to a shelter and hopefully just for a few hours. That's our hope that you do. But that's the reason why we don't put the generators out ahead of time, because once they knock over, we have no way of putting them back up. And if they knock over in a certain way, we can't start them up. They are gas powered. If we have a gas leakage, that's a problem for us. And number 4, we want to, and first and foremost, I should say, is to keep our staff safe. Okay, so that's the reason why we will not put the generators out before the storm or during the storm. The generators will go out immediately as soon as the storm event is over. They will go out to those places and we will activate them. The generators are constantly being monitored. We constantly fire them up. They are ready, they're workable, they're in working shape, and we want to keep them that way. Okay? And I think we have our team here. Hi, good morning, good morning. Well, come on up. I'm Melissa Rogers, the community manager.
Hi, I'm
New York, Dave. Okay.
This is Brittany. Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks for coming over.
Well, Brittany, it's nice to meet you.
Well, this is part of our village here.
Hi, Village.
So a lot of them have already gone north, so a lot of this information they'll pass out onto their friends and family.
Awesome.
And a lot of people have already secured their homes, but I'm going to turn the program over
Thank
to
you. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Well, good morning. First off, let me apologize for our tardiness, scheduling conflict in the way, but we are here, and I appreciate you guys having us here this morning. My name is David DiCarlo. I'm the Emergency Management Director. I just started in February, and I'm very excited to be here in Hernando County. A little bit about me real quickly. I retired from Citrus County Sheriff's Office back in August of 2020. I spent 33 and a half years there in the Sheriff's Office. The last 5 years of my career, I was the Emergency Management Director for Citrus County. And then I was retired for a couple years, and then Hernando called and said, come on, Noah. I said, okay. With me is Brittany Brooks. She's our EM planner. We'll be going through the slide presentation with you today. Can everybody see on the side? Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I like to walk and talk. So I have my cards here. So take my cards. I'm going to leave them here so on the table. So is everybody ready for hurricane season? I've been listening to Melissa. She did a great job on some basic stuff, and we appreciate that. Any questions on what Melissa had? When does hurricane season start? Now. Who said now? I like that, now. I do like that. Hurricane season starts June 1st. And it goes through when? November what? We have a winner. Winner. You know what? I'm going to give you my business card for that. Congratulations. You guys can pass those out. I'm handing out my business cards. You guys can call me anytime for any type of other presentations. If you guys have any other groups that you belong to, you're more than welcome to come and do this for you guys. We're happy to get the word out. Did I get everybody on the cards? Thank you. I'm coming. I see. I'm coming. Thank you so much. Yes. I forgot you. I'm sorry. You know what? That's it. You guys get the last ones.
Pick it up.
Thank you so much. I'm sure she does. Thanks a lot. Okay, where are we going to start off with? All right, the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season in 2020 was forecasted to be 13 to 16, 68 hurricanes and major hurricanes. What actually happened was, as you can see, 14 named storms, 8 hurricanes, and 2 major. So what constitutes a major hurricane? Anybody tell me? Category what? Category 3. Category 3 or higher is a major storm. And that was Ian and Nicole. Who evacuated during Ian? Okay. Did you know where to go?
I already had plans.
You already had plans? Okay. Who stayed here for Hurricane Ian? All right, I'm going to ask for your input. How was the public messaging?
Awesome.
Awful?
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. That's good. But if it's awful, I want to know about it too. So the public messaging was clear? Okay, that's good. Because we're going to continue that. Because effective communications is key. Helping you keep you safe. Yes.
There's one thing I remember. I kept getting phone calls on my cell phone, but nothing was there. So there were some times nobody was there with no message.
Is that Hernando? You want to take this?
Sure.
This is Brittany.
Hi. Okay, so were you signed up for Alert Hernando?
Yes.
There was a glitch, and statewide, for some reason, if you were signed up on any Alert Hernando with any number, you got multiple calls repeated over. There was an issue. That issue has been fixed. But with Alert Hernando, if you're not signed up, you guys can go to our website, or you can call us and we can sign you up. And it makes you a profile, and you can get text messages, phone calls, emails for any weather alerts that you want. So like my mom likes to do gardening and stuff, so she gets alerts for heat, freezes, and lightning, so that if it's a hard freeze, she knows to cover her plants. You can do wind, you can do marine if you go boating, you can do pretty much any weather. They even have tsunami and snow, but I don't think we're gonna need those. You can pick what you want and how often you get those alerts. So that glitch has been fixed, but if you wanted to have multiple alerts, you can make it so. You can also make it to where you get the most minimal alerts, where it's only hurricane watch and warning, tornado watch and warning, or you can have none at all, and you can change it as you go. So if you guys go back home up north or anything like that, if you're not here, you can turn it off at that time and then restart it when you come back. So we can write down a note or something, it might be up on the slide, for Alert Hernando. It's www.alerthernando.org, or you can call us at 352-754-4083 and we can sign you up.
Is that on this paper?
No, I don't believe so.
It's in the newsletter.
We'll put it in the newsletter.
It's already in the next newsletter.
If you guys have any of our hurricane guides, I apologize, I left those, you do. It's in the hurricane guide also. So we have a link in the hurricane guides, and that will give you pretty much any information we're going to talk about today as well.
Okay, thank you. We had the same program in Citrus County. It works very well. It absolutely works. So if you want information or want to feed that information, please sign up for Alert Hernando. The forecast for this season has not yet come out yet. They are expecting about the same forecast as last year. Colorado State University is usually the first one to put one out. They have a great meteorological, in Colorado they do, they have a great meteorological program, and they usually bring one out the season of the major groups. And then the National Weather Service and the Weather Channel will come out with theirs. But that's supposed to come out tomorrow, as a matter of fact, Colorado State. So, but everything preseason so far is going to be about an average, as same we saw last year.
Sorry.
You're good. Okay, so this is this year's storms. So they were predicting that low that's out by Louisiana right now, that's going through the Gulf and hitting Louisiana, New Orleans, that area right now. They were predicting that low that could come to a subtropical formation, a low pressure area, and if so, it would have been named Arlene. Those are the hurricane names or the storm names for this upcoming season. Fortunately for us, it did not, so Louisiana will be spared. But as you can tell, any major storm or any low pressure area can drop a ton of rain very quickly. And if you see down south, on the news this morning, down in South Miami, Broward, they got 12 inches of rain in like 24 hours, and they shut the airport down in Fort Lauderdale. The airport was flooded, they couldn't take off. So any system can trigger aerial flooding or low-lying area flooding or just road flooding, okay, so be careful of that. Okay, so number one post-disaster question is, how long will it be until help arrives? Who knows this answer? How long before help arrives? I'm sorry? After the storm. But how long after the storm? So we come up with this calculation. All right, the formula, the county population, we're about 180,000, maybe probably close to 200 now. Census coming out, 200,000. Now divide that with the number of firefighters we had, plus the number of law enforcement officers, and that's not a whole lot. So it's going to be a little bit. So that's why we ask you to prepare yourself accordingly, okay? Preparedness is a family event. It's important to make a plan, build a kit, stay informed, and be involved. That's our motto, okay? So if you get a plan, share your plan with your family. Who has family up north? Family up north? Okay, and they get concerned when the storm comes to Florida, correct? And power goes off, cell towers may go down for wind events, and they want to know if you're okay. All right, if you're going to plan to evacuate or stay home or wherever, go to a motel, please share that information with your family members up north so that they know, okay? Because we get a lot of phone calls for well-being checks after the storm happens because the relatives up north can't reach you guys down here. And sometimes we're very busy with this. It is a concern of us, but we need to get roadways cleared. We need to make sure power is back on, critical infrastructures, down power lines, stuff of that nature. Okay, so share your plans with your family. It only takes one to destroy your life. It takes one event. When I first took over in Citrus, we hadn't had a hurricane in like 10 or 12 years. So there was a lot of turnover in the county population. Some people moved down to Florida, never experienced a hurricane before in the past, or severe weather of that nature. Plus the ones that happened here, they just haven't gone through one in so many years, they didn't think it would happen here. So I was worried about hurricane amnesia, per se, right? They forget what it's like. Was Hernando County in 1992, you guys remember Hurricane Andrew? Yes? Does anybody live down there at that time? Hurricane Andrew, pretty bad, right? Then in 1993, we had the no-name storm that hit Citrus County. Did it affect Hernando County as well in 93? It was up to my patrol car roof, the water was in Crystal River. I lived in Crystal River at the time. And I was out of town and I got called back in. And no-name storm came through, and the only thing can distinguish my car from anybody else's is my patrol car lights. That's the only thing was the same. So I lost the car. Everybody lost a lot of stuff. But it can happen. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 inches of water in your house or 2 feet of water in your house, it's going to cause damage and it's going to uproot your life. So be prepared. National Hurricane Week is going to be April 30th through May 6th, or May 5th. Okay, and we're going to have a number of events or preparedness tips that come out during that week. One, we got to determine your risk. Okay, so what happens here in this village? You guys live here. Do you guys know what happens? Is a flood here? No flooding, right? A little bit, maybe low-lying areas. Okay, so what's the biggest factor here for you guys? Would be wind, right? The winds, tornadoes, straight line winds. They're tornadoes. Okay, the people on the west of 19, they have to really worry because they have storm surge. Storm surge and flooding is the number 1 cause of death during a storm. Post-event, during and post-event. Because a lot of people get stuck in the storm, and the storm surge comes, as you saw. We've seen that happen in Houston, in New Orleans. People get caught in their cars trying to cross the roads, and the car gets swept up. I think it only takes like 6 inches of water to move a car out of the way, and then they get caught in the storm surge and flood, and they drown and they pass away. And it's unfortunate. So again, develop a plan. It's so important to develop that plan. And what should be your plan is know where you're going to go beforehand. Okay? Pack accordingly. Get your disaster supply kits. As I heard Melissa earlier when we walked in, get your batteries, all that charging cords, the whole 9 yards. Okay? And have that with you. It's like a go kit. A go kit. How much water should you have? A gallon per day. For how long? 7 days. And we learned that through Irma, because of the lengthy power outages in Irma. It was 3 to 5 days. But then we learned in Irma that it can get nuts, and people won't have power for a week, sometimes 10 days. So have enough food and water, okay, gallon per person per day for up to 7 days. Okay? So if you do evacuate, we're going to open up 3 shelters. 1 shelter will be a special needs shelter, 1 shelter will be a pet-friendly shelter, and 1 will be for general population. Now, where the storm hits, the amount of impact that's going to happen, that's going to determine where our schools are going to, where our shelters are going to be opened at. Okay, we have several designated throughout the county through our Hernando County School District, but depending on the severity is going to impact us what, where, and what time we open up. Okay? So, know where you're going. Make that part of your planning. Develop a plan. Insurance checkup. Know what your homeowner's policy has in it for hurricane damage. A lot of them have a hurricane waiver or a rider now that you have the first 5,000. I don't know. That's in my homeowners. So, you know, hurricane first 5,000 is on me. So please make sure you know what's on your insurance and know where your insurance papers are. Make sure your insurance is up to date on your home, car. Okay?
As a side note, if you guys don't have any of that, it takes 30 days for your insurance to change. So you can't be notified of a storm a week out and then go put insurance on. It won't cover it. So if you guys don't have any of that, the riders or anything like that, you need to do it 30 days out before the storms come now, so that it'll actually be covered.
Thank you, Brittany. So insurance checkup. Okay, now we're going to do assemble your disaster supplies. Most of them went over a lot of that stuff. Does anybody have any issues gathering that stuff for your pack? We're going to have our Hurricane and Safety Expo on June 3rd. It'll be at Challenger K-8 School on Elgin Boulevard in Spring Hill. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We can help you assemble your kit. Okay, there'll be the vendors there, free admission, free parking. We'll have vendors there. We'll have meteorological staff from Bay News 9, National Weather Service. We're going to have a panel for questions. So come to our Hurricane and Safety Expo on June 3rd. I'll Challenger K-8 School. You can get more information on how to build your disaster supply kit. But there's the checklist right here. If you go to our website, hernandocounty.us/en, there's a link there you can get this information on what to put in your disaster supply kit. And then also you got your hurricane preparedness list. Who has pets? Who has pet? What we've learned is, and which I've learned through past experiences, you are not going to evacuate if you can't take your pet with you, right? We can't leave the pet behind. We can't leave Furry or Fluffy or Max or Otto behind, right? So we'll open up a pet-friendly shelter, okay? It is your responsibility to bring supplies with you for your pet. It is your responsibility to bring supplies, medical supplies with you if you need to go to a special needs shelter. And your caretakers and the special need individual. Make sure you have your medication with you. If we order an evacuation, now I'll tell you this, when I recommend to the Board of County Commissioner, the chairman, and the county administrator, I take that very, very personally. I take that seriously. My outlook is I'm protecting life safety. That's it. Life safety for everybody involved, for you and first responders. So if we order a mandatory evacuation, or even a voluntary evacuation, please take it seriously. I know there's some confusion. What is a mandatory? What's the difference between mandatory and voluntary? Not a lot. I promise you, if there's a mandatory evacuation and you don't evacuate, I won't come to your house and drag you out of it. Okay? It's just the urgency. The mandatory is the urgency and the severity of the storm that's coming and what impacts this area will have. Okay, so you guys are mobile homes. So if we do a mandatory evacuation, it'll be for homes and residents that are west of 19, those living in RVs and mobile home parks, such that nature. Okay? And we'll give you what the potential impacts will be. It could be chances of tornadoes, hurricane force winds, category 3, tropical storm winds. Okay? So please take it seriously and know where you're going to go. If you decide to stay, that's fine. If you have done your checkup and you prepared your home and you think you're good to go, that's great. Please let your family know you're staying. Please let your family know that you're leaving because they want to know. Okay? So the time to prepare is now. Safety is first. Strengthen your home. I just mentioned that. If you need to put on, replace your windows or replace roofs, now's the time to do it. You got 49 days till hurricane season starts. I know this, because yesterday was 50 days. How long does hurricane season last? 180 days. When you're in this profession, you can memorize this stuff. Okay. But go through your house, make sure trim your loose branches and your trees. If the storm's approaching, please take in any patio furniture, outside patio furniture. Bring it inside. Or if you have a pool, who has a pool? If you have a pool, throw your outside patio furniture in your pool. Because it's not going to fly around in the wind. Because it's going to be inside your pool. Okay? Anything loose outside that may be able to get picked up by the wind to make it a projectile, please secure that. Identify trusted source of information for your event. Everybody has their favorite weatherman? Favorite news source? Everybody has them. Doesn't matter which one you choose, because they all will pretty much have the same information that we are putting out. And that's when I said, what was our public messaging? How was it? We want to make sure it's consistent, and it comes from preferably one source, and that's through emergency management. So when I gather information, I get a phone call. We get a conference call from the National Hurricane Center. I'll get their brief from the National Hurricane Center. Everybody looks at that cone, right? That big cone of uncertainty. And people will look at that cone and say, oh, we're not in that cone of uncertainty. Please don't focus on that. It could still happen. Last year, Ian was supposed to forecast to hit Cedar Key. Then it kept moving. Then it was Crystal River. And I was retired, but I still had contacts, and I texted the city mayor, the mayor of Crystal River, and the city manager, that you're about to get a bunch of water. Like a bunch of water. And then the forecast kept moving, right? It kept changing. And we're very fortunate that we didn't get the destruction and disaster that happened down south. But again, that's why we need to be prepared, because you never know. We were spared. Complete your written plan. Please put it on paper. Okay, and share it. Email it to your family, to your friends, or stay on the phone with your grandson or your granddaughter and say, write this down. This is where we're going to be. This is how to contact us. Okay? Write your plan down. Keep it with you. It's like a checklist. And check off the box as you get stuff done. If you're going to shelter in place, please know the safe spots inside your home. What's the safest spot you can be in? Bathroom or inside a doorway, right? Strongest parts. So please know where you're going to go. Please have that plan in place and say this is going to happen. Who has generators in your house or at your house you can plug in? Okay, please be wary and know how to operate your generator. Make sure it's outside. Make sure it's hooked up correctly. We don't want any generator fires. And then catch your home on fire, and it's during a storm, and if the winds are more than 40 miles per hour, 45 miles per hour, first responders are not going to come because the winds are too severe for us to respond. And again, it's about life safety, and that's all-inclusive. That's not only you, but it's also first responders. It's all about life safety. So I know what it's like to get up and have to move and shelter. If you have to go to a shelter, please understand it is a lifeboat. It is not the love boat. You will be uncomfortable. You will probably be hot or not as comfortable as you'd like to be, but you'll be safe. And we'll make sure that if your area, if the power is out, we'll make sure before you leave, if you're especially in a special needs shelter and you're dependent on electricity or oxygen to run your medical equipment, we'll make sure that your power is back on your neighborhood before you go home. Okay. What else do we have up there? Secure your windows and doors. Anybody have any questions on this so far? Okay. If you must evacuate, either hotel or motel, please understand, as we saw in Irma, that when Irma came in down south, everybody from down south went north. And so it flooded our roadways. Was it easy to move around traffic in Hernando County? Probably not. Because everybody was bogged down on the interstates and the turnpikes and the county roads and the state roads. So know where you're going. Avoid the rush. Avoid the rush. Family or friends, we've learned that you don't have to drive 100 miles to get away from the storm. It just may be 10 or 12 miles. Just maybe across town to a newer model home or what stronger building codes than what your house was built on. Okay? So you don't have to drive 100 miles. You don't have to go to Georgia. You don't have to go to South Carolina because the storm's probably just going to head up, come into Florida and head north into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, or Tennessee, whatever. It's going to happen. Okay? So know where you're going. Public shelters, the space inside the shelter is very, very small. Please keep that in mind. Again, it is a lifeboat. It is not a love boat. It'll be uncomfortable. We will feed you. We will get you water. We'll get you substance. It's not going to be prime rib. It's not going to be filet mignon. It's not going to be lobster. Okay? Again, it's a lifeboat, not a love boat. And if you have any questions, you can call us at the phone number that's on there, 352-754-4083. You can email us, you can go to our website and get more information. Everybody has their disaster preparedness guides. There's a lot of good information in there. Go through it. The checklist is in there on what to do. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to give us a call, and we'll answer them. We're more than happy to answer them. If you need to register for special needs, please do so. You go to our website and register for special needs. And if there's any questions about that, then the Department of Health will probably follow up a phone call and ask you a little more personal questions than what we will, okay, because they have a nurse on there. But if you belong to any other organizations, any community organizations you'd like us to come and speak to, please, you have my business card, email me, and we'll set it up. more than happy to come out and give you a presentation. Any questions? Yes?
My question pertains most about communications.
Okay.
We're snowbirds, so we're not here all year round, but we rely primarily on the internet for our television. I mean, even a lot of people have their phones through their internet service provider.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like one of the first services to go out.
Right.
What is your suggestion to stay connected? Like, we don't have regular TV. We can't get a Tampa radio or Tampa TV station, right?
I would get a weather radio, a battery operated radio. Okay, so at least you can stay informed. You may not have to communicate, but you'll be able to receive messages. Okay, so that's why it's important to have a battery operated radio. Make sure you have fresh batteries and know what station to turn to for the news. Like the local news is 99.9, whatever radio station you listen to, that at least you can receive information. Now, internet, mobile phones, cell towers, that's critical infrastructure. It's going to be one of the first things of our community lifelines are going to be restored quickly. Okay, so as soon as it's safe, because it's technology and it's electric, it's going to go out. And so just be prepared. You may be out without internet for a day or so. But that's what's important to have a weather radio. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the generators, and I understand Melissa's comments. However, I sheltered in place in Irma, and I had a brand new duplex, and the sewage from all of my neighborhood came up through my shower drain and ruined my whole master bedroom and master bath, whole new suite, and up the walls. An awful lot of work had to be done, both for me and my neighbors.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know what the answer is. I think our generators are transferred. Is there a permanent generator issue that can be taken place?
It definitely is too late to solve what happened to me. And in my bedroom was the only place I had carpet, and the carpet also was in the closet, and so all of my pants that touched the floor had stains up to the knees. It just ruined everything. And by putting generators up after the fact, it's not going to help solve that problem.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is what we have to do to keep everybody safe. And as I said before, as the emergency management team said, with these very, very gusty winds can knock over a generator, and if it does, it creates even bigger problems for us. So
that's my question.
I can tell you that what we have right now is we're negotiating with the city of Brooksville to actually take offline our current sewer system and reconnect to something else. So we are working with them right now. We've been in negotiations with them. I don't know if we can get that up for this hurricane season or not. Definitely by the next year's hurricane season. But in order to keep the safety of our staff and the health and wellness of the village, we have to do it that way for right now. But that's not going to be the long term. Long term is we're going to take our sewage system offline, and we will be connecting to a different situation here very shortly. So the hope is that we can do it.
6 years ago, I think, that
Yes.
it happened. And my question is, do we have to have those temporary ones? Isn't there some kind of generator that's buried or whatever?
At this point, we're not going to do that with having we're so close with working with the city and connecting on our sewer system with the city that we're not going to go through that expense. It would be an unnecessary expense for us. It's unfortunate that it did happen to you and that some of the other homes. We're going to pray it doesn't happen again, but we learned from that it could cause us some very, very bad situations, and we don't want that.
There is something that has not been mentioned that I learned after the fact, and that is there's a small little screw in to it came up through the shower drain, and there's a screw in you buy at Lowe's for, I don't know, just a few dollars that prevents anything coming up. It took a long time for me to figure out how did it get in. I have a huge tree. That's what I was worried about. And I was shocked to find water in my house. And it wasn't water, it was sewage.
And we have a unique setting here because of the fact that we have our own sewer lines and our own water lines coming through here that we maintain. So in certain sections of the village, we could run into those problems, and certain sections we could not run into that. So it's unfortunate that it happened in that section. And we are gonna have some new construction here happening very, very soon. So, just be aware if you're starting to see things like that, even with the new construction, maybe not just necessarily with a hurricane situation, please advise us immediately because we'll have to let the contractors know.
I just would encourage everybody to get one of those little screw-in things and make sure that water cannot get up through your shower drain, because I don't think very many people know that.
Thank you for that, Nancy. We appreciate that. I just want to go back to the question here. We monitor through our emergency management team communications. My husband goes and stays overnight at the emergency management center. He and I are in contact, and John and I are in contact all the time. So one of the luxuries that we have, I guess we could say it's a luxury that my husband happens to be the administrator, that he keeps me pretty informed because I have to stay home by myself. I'm not able to go to the emergency management center. So I'm staying home.
I'll take care of
Who's going to take care of me?
it. Make sure Jeff takes care of it.
Okay. Anyway, so the whole point of the matter is we're very fortunate with the situation that we have, that this last storm with Ian, John and I were in contact, and John was here several times throughout the storm when we had some clearance to check everything. So please don't go and try to do that yourself if you're staying here. Please wait for us to give you the all clear, all call so that you can start moving around the village. We will post phone bites if we have the phones online. We will post phone bites. Check your Facebook if you have your Facebook, and we will definitely tell you about open shelters. Also, when the storm event is over, please, please, please give us a moment to talk to the families who are calling, checking on their families first before you call and check on your home. The phone did not stop ringing, asking me about, did my windows make it, did my doors make it, when I was trying to really field calls from people, family members saying, is my mom okay, is my dad okay, how are my parents doing? And we were doing our best that we could to figure out where everybody was. So if you are going back home, secure your house. We're gonna pray really hard. But if you don't have a family member, please wait to call us so we can get through those calls first, because people are truly very concerned about their family members and we want to take care of those first.
Would you prefer that we not call at all and you call us to say, hey, your roof is missing?
No. We just immediately after